So, for the last 100 days, I have been sharing with you guys my career pivot, misalignments, transitions, and stepping into a new job, my dream job. But I realized I hadn't shared with you how I actually got here. And I also realized most people will not respect the executive level leadership that retail management provided me. That's okay. That means they're underestimating. And if you're someone that's worked in food, beverage, hospitality, retail, maybe there are parts of you that you're underestimating in yourself as well. So, how did we even get here to tech, to healthcare, to mental health? It's been a journey and a time, but it's all started with retail. 18 years ago, I started in retail management, and it was one of the best decisions I could have ever made. It afforded me a beautiful life. It gave me beautiful relationships. More than anything, it gave me experience that no one could take from me. I learned how to put out fires. I wore multiple hats. I learned how to do merchandising. I learned how to develop people. And then beyond that, I learned how to build relationships with people. I learned how to see people beyond the job role. But when you treat people well, they'll treat you better, and how to go the extra mile and create an environment that I would want to be in as well. And I got that autonomy many, many times over during different stints and places that I managed. And I've cried with customers, I've laughed with customers, I knew their baby names. So much like kept me connected. And I realized as a young child, for Christmas gifts, my mom and dad got me like a cash register. They got me little knickknacks because I love ringing stuff up. I just loved it. I would love the sound of the cash register and like the change hitting the cash. And I love seeing people thumb through ones. Like, it just drew me in. And my dad owned a bicycle shop for a very long time. He worked there even longer than he owned it. And seeing him just talk to customers as a little girl, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. And I did for 18 years. Isn't that something? So my start wasn't as an entrepreneur. My start wasn't in tech, and my start surely was not in healthcare. My start was in retail management. I've worked and managed for a slew of companies. It started with Hollister, then Wet Seal. I went to David's Bridal, Bath and Body Works. I expanded to The Buckle. I did Nordstrom. I did Ulta. I opened up a couple other Ulta locations. I did Lululemon, and Warby Parker was the one that brought it on home for me. And I hung up my jersey and said, after 2020, I am good. So, the thing about retail, and this is why I think so many people underestimate themselves, it's not seen as a high level industry unless you're working in like the luxury side, or you're working directly in like the corporate, or for like a big name brand like maybe a Spanx with Sarah Blakely. And retail brings in a lot of money, in the billions probably by now. I don't even know what the numbers are because I've been out of the game for so long. But when you hire somebody that comes from that type of background, retail, hospitality, the food industry, especially, I'll say us that have been working for a very long time, the dedication, the hard work, the drive is typically there. We wear so many different hats. I easily was putting out 4 or 5 fires a day, not only just with like customers and their experience, but with the service or whatever we offered. If their hemming came back incorrectly, because Lululemon at the time offered complimentary hemming, if their shipping didn't go out to be delivered to them. If we said we had something on hold and we didn't, you are an active problem solver. You don't get 24 hours to think about how you want to solve the problem. You have about 2 to 5 minutes to decide what it is you want to do to be able to make that person happy, to be able to satisfy that person's needs, to be able to stand within the integrity of the service that you guys offer. And how are you going to represent the brand well? Not with an attitude, not with nastiness, not with disdain, but with integrity, true integrity, being in alignment and doing things right, how you'd want them done for you, essentially. So, the hats, the putting out fire, managing chaos, managing big accounts as I started to progress in, I guess that's more the tech piece, but I'll say as I started to progress in the quality of retailer that I worked for, the money that I had to handle got higher and larger and bigger, and the deposits, and then the sales goals, and then the expectations, and then the 6 figure days, and then the multi 6 figure weekends. Things just grew and grew and grew. So, with bigger volume comes much bigger responsibility. And I did this from Michigan to North Carolina to Atlanta on back. And it expanded me in ways that I realized my skill sets in that industry qualified me for much more beyond what I was doing. When I got tired of working in retail when I was at Warby Parker during 2020, the time of the pandemic, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. The function of how we had to do things when we came back, I was so exhausted. And I'm like, there's got to be more to life than striving for this paycheck in this way. And it was no longer fulfilling for me. And when I realize something is no longer fulfilling for me, that means that I respectfully have to bow out and make room for the next person to step up and step in. I started growing detached from my work. I didn't have any PTO time left either. I felt like mental health challenges were starting to kick in a little bit too, not only just from the pandemic, but moving away to a new city, being away from my parents and family immediately, and then still fresh in grieving the loss of my son. So, all of that hodgepodge together. And I said, okay, I'm exhausted. What else can I do? I need something that's going to light me up again, that's going to fill me up, where I can take my skills and like apply them and grow a business, grow an operation. But I don't think it needs to be retail. I think I need a time out for a while. And I didn't feel like I needed to train and develop people for a minute either. I needed to recalibrate and get myself back together. So I wanted something that paid me what I made, but less responsibility. And that's when I transitioned into fertility healthcare. And it was fantastic being a part of a true mission, being able to be the first and last face that they saw on their journey, knowing each other's names, like really building a relationship and connection for people that wanted nothing more than to be a parent. The links that people will go to be a parent, the money attached to what people have to do to be a parent. I was like, okay, I'm in the right space. I was health coaching in my personal business at the side. So I did women's hormonal health coaching. So I had a few clients that I was working with and then working this job full time. And after my health scare diagnosis, really, I guess is a little deeper than a scare. After I went through breast cancer for those couple years, I realized I need something that's just a little less people facing. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to restore myself. I had weekends where I couldn't go outside because I had to recover and stay inside because my white blood counts were so low after going to the doctor that I had to quarantine in the house from my own treatments. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is wild." So, when I started to assess like, "Okay, what else can I be doing that is going to once again compound everything," right? I went back to what I knew was familiar. "Okay, Renee, you know how to do this, this and that. So how can you take that and how can you apply that to something else that's going to at least make you how much money you want to make, girl? Okay, we need to make at least like 80K and up. How can we do that?" Here in the fine city of Atlanta. And that's exactly what I did. I end up stepping into a fintech industry and company that provided me with a significant transition financially, mentally. The balance was there. It offered literally everything that I had gotten from all of these other industries and jobs and the environment. And it was phenomenal when I realized, yo, the skill sets I have are valued, they're wanted. Like when I accepted that fertility healthcare position, they specifically told me, oh, we were looking for someone with a retail background because we needed experience for X, Y, and Z. Don't sleep on your experience. Don't sleep on the retail background. Don't sleep on hospitality. Don't sleep on the industries that are often like slept on or overlooked, or people just work in between to just get by. Because when you understand the magnitude of what you're doing, think about it from this lens. If you look at if you pull out a little bit and actually look at the lens of what you're managing, right? It may look like it's a little dot, like, a small scale. It's a ripple in the water. You managing this one store or working at this one store. But look at the volume of whatever that store is doing. Look at how much they bring in a day. Look at how much they bring in a week. And then look at how much they bring in a month. You don't have to work every single day, every week, and every month to contribute because you're still a part of that number. So take that number and that impact directly or indirectly and magnify it and expand it on, okay, how many other stores does this company have? What else are they doing? What is their volume? What start to ask questions. What did we do last year and where are we headed now? And when you look at just the operation, the engine, the function of what you're doing and realize you're part of a most likely multi-million dollar or billion-dollar industry, company, or corporation, yeah, that's big business. That people are going to want to pay you to be able to do a job that helps them do big business. That's no little thing. And you got to realize that. So oftentimes the disconnect is that we just don't understand the language to attach to it, right? And I shared a bit of this in yesterday's video of how I went from the 50K to about 145K using the skills that I had. Using the very skills that I had. I didn't take any extra class. I didn't get a certification to get into tech. I did not do anything additional than what I was already doing. Updating my resume, paying to have an updated cover letter, and putting Renee Coakley on it with all my skills. And if anything, as the years have changed, honey, slim down the number of pages on said resume. That's all that I was doing. But I knew I took an initiative to learn our business so well that I could speak to the needs of the business. I could speak to the results that we were producing. I could speak to the opportunity and the gaps, even if I wasn't directly tied to a certain sector of the business. I still learned how to speak to it, especially in fertility healthcare, right? The focus tweaked a little bit, but it was almost like, okay, well, how many members or patients do we have coming in, and what does this look like, and X, Y, and Z, so I could have an understanding just from a different lens. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what business you're in. All businesses are generating. They're there to make money. That the number one goal at the end of the day, call it how you want to call it. It doesn't matter if it's the most sensitive sector of healthcare, fertility, oncology. It doesn't matter what it is. These people want to make money. Bills have to get paid. Lights have to remain on. How you going to help me make money? That's just usually what people want to know. How are you going to treat these people well? How are you going to draw more people into my business? What are you going to do? And how can you do it? End point. So those skill sets, when you understand how to apply language to the skills that you have and translate them over to the position that you are seeking or the new industry that you're looking for, that's when you're able to be able to call in or request the amount that you deserve and the amount that you desire. So, with that being said, today's self-loyalty check-in. What's one skill you built in a role that people underestimated? Comment self-loyalty in the bottom if you're done minimizing where you started, and let me know your answer in the comments because I read every comment and I reply to every comment. I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited for your elevation. I'm excited for your level up. And if anything I shared with you was helpful, please let me know in the comments as well. My goal is to be here to help and to serve, honey. And I mean, these 18 years of leadership can't just sit on themselves. So, as I'm stepping into another new sector and industry, I'm excited to not only merge all of my operational experience and skills in these past roles, but merge that and add that to my career pivot in clinical mental health to support a lovely women's nonprofit community in Detroit. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So that's what growth looks like. That's what dedication looks like. That's the result of diligence, and thinking outside your box. Sometimes we just need to think outside that box a little bit more because we usually can only see like what's in front of us or the linear path, if that's the word that I want to say. Sometimes our pathway just doesn't, it's not a straight line. There's many different routes and ways to get to where you want to get to. And I know a lot of you guys, your ultimate goal, I've read your comments. I've seen how y'all responded on some of the other videos. You don't really want to work anybody's job, but until you got to work a job. So until you can get to the point of no job, the job needs to be the one that still fulfills your needs, and it checks off a lot of different boxes, right? You have more work-life balance, you're getting paid well, the stress level feels manageable, if it not slightly obsolete. You want to be able to have freedom to do things with your family. You want freedom to travel. You want freedom to take off a random Tuesday. You don't want to have to worry about burning through PTO time because it's either unlimited or you got enough of it to use. You want freedom to get paid to do your job really well, to fund the dream life that you desire, and to get to the point where you're living it on your terms. That's the ultimate goal, right? I mean, at least for me. This is why I'm working towards what I'm working towards. So if you're new here, love to have you. Stay around for a while. Hit the comment, like, subscribe button. And until the next video, my friends, y'all know how we end it. Peace out.